What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing 3 fragrances. This is a triple. Oh baby, a triple. We're going to do 3 fragrances by Snif Co. So they sent these over to me actually. Shout out to Snif Co. Thank you for sending these. They were actually kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. They weren't very responsive, but I got them in the mail. So here it goes, guys. I'm not gonna let that bias me. And I have smelled them already so that I could check out longevity and everything like that. So this is not gonna be my first impressions, but I will tell you what I think about each fragrance and I'll kind of jog my memory as we go. So yeah, so let's start with let's start with Crumb Couture. This is the one that I requested. I was like, can I please smell Crumb Couture? Because I had heard about this brand before. I don't know if you guys have heard of them already. Snif.co. Really cool containers. Love all these containers that they have. So I got to give them that. And then you pull it out kind of like this. Oh, upside down. You pull it out like this, kind of like a book, kind of like some of the other fragrance companies. And you pull this bad boy out. Here's the bottle. It just says Crumb Couture, Crumb Couture. And it's a magnetic cap. This is a cheap plastic feeling cap though. So I don't know, that's just kind of how they did it. Plastic atomizer and plastic collar. You know, I don't know, interesting, but it does feel very satisfying using the magnetic cap. My fragrances have magnetic caps. Now you guys know why, because I'm obsessed with it. It just feels better. It feels high quality. Anyway, enough chit chat. So Crumb Couture, yeah, very sweet. This one was released in 2023, scores a 4.34 out of 5. So it does score well, okay? So yeah, fragrance notes, croissant, vanilla, blackcurrant, sandalwood, tonka bean, and rose jam, whatever that means. So rose jam, that sounds kind of like a band. So let's pop off this and we'll check out the atomizer together, okay? Okay, atomizer, but let's get to the smell. Because this, to me, this is so interesting. Yes, they were a pain in the butt through email, but man, they make good fragrances. This to me it feels like a niche fragrance. I don't remember what the price is. I'll throw links in the description. I wasn't able to get a discount code out of them. Sorry guys. I know I can get you guys at least like a 10% off code or something. And maybe they're doing like a Christmas sale. I don't know. I would look into it, but yeah. So usually they're like, what are they? Are they like 80 bucks? I forget. But yeah, they're not super cheap, but they're not super expensive, but they feel niche. They feel like a niche fragrance. This literally smells like a croissant, like dough though, like the croissant dough, and maybe like a cooked croissant. I don't get any blackcurrant. My nose doesn't do very well with some of the blackcurrant molecules, which is interesting, but that's a whole nother story. Sandalwood, maybe a little sandalwood, maybe a little tonka bean, but really this just smells like a vanilla croissant, like a pastry, like as if you're in the IKEA, you know, where you go at the end where there's the IKEA like bakery and all that stuff. And for some reason they're like baking something back there. I thought they only sold hot dogs, but they're baking something back there and it smells like that, like in IKEA. Or maybe it was Target. It smells almost plasticky, a little bit plasticky, but really mostly like a flaky croissant. Love this fragrance. It's so interesting. I don't know how wearable this is. This is a 9.3 out of 10. I don't know how wearable this fragrance is though, because who wants to smell like a croissant? I don't know. Maybe this, if you're a gal, you know, this is a little more feminine. I don't know. It's very niche though, and it's interesting. So for those of you who like to collect fragrances that have just kind of a weird, interesting smell to them, I recommend this one. And it actually smells good. It's not like a weird but bad smell. So 9.3 out of 10. Longevity was okay. Projection, okay. So about average on everything. Maybe even a little less than average with longevity and projection. So slightly less than average. Okay, so next one. Let's talk about, oh yeah, this one's called Dead Dinosaur. So Dead Dinosaur is one of the other ones. You won't find it directly on their main menu, I don't think. You have to like look it up. and then click a link because it's on their secret menu. You know how like In-N-Out does a secret menu? So this one, and I think even Crumb Couture is on their secret menu. So you just Google it maybe, or I'll find a link. I'll make sure there's a direct link to it. So yeah, so this one's called Dead Dinosaur. Let's pop it open. Enough chit chat here. Okay, there's a car on the front. That should give you a clue. What are dead dinosaurs these days? They're powering my lake boat, baby. Here we go. Okay, Dead Dinosaur, same kind of deal, same kind of presentation. I love the magnetic cap. It has a weird iridescent shine to it, almost like a thin film phenomenon that you see when you see gasoline on a road, right? Or oil on a road. So that should give you a little bit of a clue here. This has a gasoline note to it. Petrol, you know, it smells like freaking petrol. So technically they say it's floral and balsamic. It scores 3.34 out of 5 on Fragrantica, and you'll see why. So this was released in 2022. Gasoline, so notes, gasoline, magnolia, pink pepper, Peru balsam, ginger, davana, cedar, amber, and orris root. Okay. And there we go. Yeah, there's some florals in there. Yeah, there's a magnolia. Maybe some sharp pink pepper at the top just to give a little bit of extra sharpness to the gasoline. Maybe some balsamic, you know, some balsam type smell to it. A little bit of woodiness, a little bit of greenness, but mostly, yes, this is a green note, a green fragrance. This is gasoline. This is a pretty well done gasoline accord. I think my gasoline accord is a little bit better because I'm using violetine. Technically, gasoline is a green smell. I don't know what you guys think of it as far as the color wheel, but it's technically a green smell because you're using a lot of things like violet leaf and foliage type, you know, weird fragrance ingredients that you don't usually use. There's also another ingredient, methyl octane carbonate, that is used in a gasoline accord, like in, what's that one by Dior? Dior Fahrenheit, right? It has that famous gasoline or the kerosene smell to it. And it uses methyl octane carbonate. They've limited it now, so you have to use there's some other ingredients that you can use. There's one that smells kind of like mushrooms, like earthy mushrooms. And that can be used to create this gasoline accord. So gasoline is tricky. I made a fragrance for my brother. He's into guns and all that stuff, and I made a fragrance called 38 Special, and it had a kerosene and a gunpowder accord, and the kerosene I think was really spot on. It's actually kind of similar, like a smokier, like kind of more heavy metal, you know, leather version of Fahrenheit. But yeah, anyway, a lot of the leather ingredients can also help make this gasoline smell. It's weak though. I'm gonna say this is weak. It's very niche smelling. It's basically unwearable. Maybe I'm gonna give it, see, people rated it 3.3. I think this is maybe an 8 out of 10 fragrance. It's very niche. I think this has been sent to the wrong people, you know what I mean? It got into that crowd that is not into the niche, weird fragrances, and so they couldn't really handle it, which unfortunately is something that happened with the Black Ebony or whatever the Tom Ford new fragrance is. Black Lacquer, which is a great fragrance, amazing fragrance, but people wanted that. They asked for niche. We gave them, you know, Tom Ford gave them a niche fragrance, and then they didn't like, they were like, oh my God, this is too wild. So I think it's something like that. And I don't know, maybe I'm ranting here, but yeah, so I appreciate what they did with Dead Dinosaur. That's wild. It's not on their regular website, you know, on their main page, because yes, they're supposed to, you know, kind of go to the masses, but maybe this is their perfumer having a little bit of fun and releasing something creative. So I think that's cool. 8 out of 10 fragrance. Performance, probably a 6 out of 10. Not great performance, not very good at all, actually. So I would have made it stronger. I probably would have done like an EDP version of this, but that's fine. Okay, sorry for the rant there. Long story short, let's check out this next one called Wow Factor. I tried to get one that was a little bit more, they let me choose, so I tried to get one that was a little more like mass appealing. It's called Wow Factor. Okay, here we go. Yeah, woody citrus. Yeah. Okay, 4.04. So this one gets a little more love. It was launched in 2023, okay? Top notes, fig, mandarin orange, galbanum, okay? Kind of metallic, kind of iffy, maybe a little bit niche there. Middle notes, neroli, rose, orris. Base notes, cedarwood, ambrette, and tonka bean, okay? We've talked about ambrette a million times, right? What are we gonna use? We're gonna use either ambretolide or we're gonna use ambretex. They're kind of limiting ambretolide these days, so I think we'd have to go with ambretex, which is actually a decent molecule as well. So, okay, right off the bat, this is the strongest of all of them. You get the neroli, you do get the galbanum though. Maybe they're using galbex, who knows? Maybe they're using, ooh, man, I don't even know what they're using, but this is strong. It's very green. It fits in with the fig, right? There's some of the greenness and the jamminess of the fig. Maybe you get some mandarin orange in there. The orris. This smells, this doesn't feel very wearable. It's just strong and almost too much, but it does feel kind of niche. Do you get much rose? No, not really. This is mostly a green scent as well, but a green in a different way from this one. It's funny. This is like one of the highest scoring fragrances from them. This is probably this is my least favorite of the three. It's like you get so deep down the rabbit hole of this whole fragrance thing. I don't know, are you guys like that? You get so deep into it that you start liking the weird stuff, you know what I mean? Something that makes you feel something again, you know? You smell it and you're like, whoa, I still like the designer stuff. No problem with that. A good smell is a good smell. Doesn't matter what company is making it. In the end, it's all about the perfumer, so you know, it could be a designer one that releases a niche fragrance, you know, who knows? But I don't know, this one's all right. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5 out of 10, 9.3, 8 out of 10. We started off kind of on the wrong foot, but honestly, I think they've earned my respect. This is it's a decent fragrance company. I think their prices are a little high though. I would look into that because these are like 30 mil. Are these 30 mil? Yeah, these are 30 mils. And I think they're like 80 bucks for a 30 mil, which is asking a lot, and they don't do sales or discounts, I don't think. So I don't know, see if you can get one on a discount or maybe get your nose on it. I would check out Crumb Couture though. This one is super cool. Oh, you know what? Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'll put this on my Decant website. I'll put all three of them on my Decant website like later today or something like that. So that way if you want to try them without having to buy one, because they are expensive. And I wasn't able to get a discount, but I'll put them on my website on Decant World. And yeah, that way you don't have to pay out the butt to get some of these scents, you know. You can try it out before you buy them, because I haven't seen these really in stores. I think that's their thing, is they're not in stores. They're online only. So yeah, look for that. I'll put a link in the description, okay? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As always, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.